My name is Whitney Pangburn. I'm a Rotarian District Governor-elect in Rotary District 7190, upstate New York. I'm also one of the only females in a male-dominated role for a company in the health insurance sector. I have two small children, and Rotary has been the backbone and support system that I've needed over the last 10 years. I think an inclusive culture is a culture where everyone has a voice, but they're not forced to use it to advocate for themselves. They are able to be at the same table, space is created for them, and there's no barriers to them being there. So an inclusive organization for me is a recent Rotary Club we started. It meets on WhatsApp. It's a group that focuses on women's and children's causes across the globe. We all have a voice. We all have a turn to speak. We're all excited about the work that we're doing. The biggest mistake I see when we're trying to create inclusive cultures is trying to uphold tradition. A lot of tradition is great, but a lot of tradition is also specifically exclusive or makes people feel like they're not welcome. There's a few times that tradition has made me feel excluded, both in my work life and in my volunteer life. Being in a male-dominated role, I think there are things that the guys do that is just not something that appeals to me as a female. Also, within some of my volunteer experiences, being a younger person at the table, having to work and raise a family, and not being able to attend events at the times that they're scheduled or at the venue or platform that they're hosted on. I think we definitely need to focus on system change versus behavior change. Behavior change takes a lot of repeat action. It takes a lot of hand-holding, and not that it can't be productive, but system change is like a complete refresh. It creates an environment for people to automatically have a new culture, and it also creates that opportunity for people to learn if they don't know how to act within that new culture. I think a new system that has really encouraged culture shifts and inclusive culture is where we've been forced to go throughout the COVID pandemic, meeting by virtual means. I think it creates a platform by which everyone does have that equal seat at the table, but we've had to really, again, forego some of the previous traditions that we've had. Maybe that's within a meeting, maybe that's within an event, but it has kind of reset our way of thinking. Biggest thing that I've learned is critical conversation skills. Having a discussion. Maybe I don't even always understand myself what is exclusionary, what is making someone feel that they're not welcome. Having critical conversations allows us to really identify and dig in on those things that are excluding people from our conversations. So a time that I've been part of a critical conversation that has helped remove a barrier is actually within one of my Rotary Club experiences of a longtime Rotarian who stood up in the middle of a meeting and said, well, if they don't want to do things the way we do them, then why do we want them? And very quickly, a number of members stood up and said, well, if we don't change, we're not going to have anyone like Whitney or Whitney in the club. I think it's just having people support you, stand up for you, using your voice, but having others back you up. That's a big way. It's really interesting to see that women are definitely on the forefront of having these conversations. I've seen, at least in my experiences, where, we've had critical conversations. We talk about what the odds are. And there are many volunteers that stand up who are not women. Maybe they have a sister or a spouse or a family member who, has been against odds as well and understands the dynamics there. I think it all stems from having that initial conversation, digging in a little bit deeper and then asking for people to step up and help support the initiative. Through our experience, we find the people who may be cheerleaders, who may support the causes that we're trying to kind of get over the finish line. Having those individual conversations, I think, is what's going to solidify support from members within our, volunteer organizations, from people at work, to really help move the needle. Just from my own personal experience, I know that, whether it's within a volunteer organization or for me within a work setting, if nothing is done, I'm alienated and I'm forced to move on. So whether it's within our professional lives or our volunteer lives, if no one moves the needle, we're not going to survive as an organization. For me, anything is about passion. It's about trying to create the place you want to be. Looking at the flag above my screen, which is create hope in the world. You know, in order to stay within an organization, again, whether it's professional or if it's volunteer, I have to believe that I'm making a difference and that I'm heard. And so, I'm just trying to rely on a lot of my friends within Rotary, and I'm working on initiatives within my organization as well, to try to make sure exactly on this topic that women or maybe marginalized groups have the ability to sit at the same table. So maybe more specifically, what I'm working on in Rotary this year is, well, we're doing a big regionalization. For us, it's big. For Rotary, it's not. But we're pulling 3 districts together. I've really been trying to help facilitate that, make sure that we're all planning, we're on the same page, helping capture information. Maybe sometimes really encouraging people to lean on technology versus maybe some of the ways we've done things before. So I'm always the resident Google Doc person, setting up WhatsApp groups, but maybe drilling down a little bit more, focusing on collaboration. I think we have this strength of this massive international organization behind us, but so often we do things ourselves, and really trying to encourage as many people as I can to lean on each other, lean on external organizations, lean on me, so we can make things even better. Within my experience in Rotary, some of the green flags have definitely been the people who have given me professional development. They've given me support as a single mom for my family. They have really been there for me in every aspect of life. Something we're working on right now in my professional life is building basically a support mechanism for working women and building, a DEI initiative. I think anything like that, one of the biggest tools to start with are your people. We have a lot of people who can give us input on what's working and maybe more specifically what's not working. Using that as a starting place. I think sometimes, it seems just like such a big thing to work on. But taking off those little tasks, taking little small bites and baby steps, starting somewhere is better than ignoring it. So maybe just, focusing on the small things is a great place to start. So I'm involved in a group that supports women and children. And statistically speaking, economies grow when we support women. And I think this is our one time every year to really focus on how pivotal it is to have the support mechanisms for women, how bringing up women can make any organization better, whether it's volunteer or professional, giving them the tools, the resources to be better contributors, be better leaders. Also, including their family life, their significant others, their children. That is all going to help us evolve and grow and remain relevant.